Morning Gamer, it is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. Thanks for being with us on Gaming Morning Show, as we are 6 to 9 a.m., Monday through Friday, Pacific time. He is Sean, I am Ryan, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and maybe on Periscope. I don't know. It could be working. It might not be. Who knows? You know, it's a crapshoot, but we're going to give it a shot. Because when I went into the account manager earlier today, it didn't say that our account was still suspended. So, you know, that's a win. Thumbs up, right?
For now. Let's see if we can get that suspended again in one day.
I don't actually see it on my list, so who knows if it's working. But either way, you can find us Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. You can always type in gms.watch. This day in gaming history, birthdays coming up. It is off-brew already in the chat, and it is cold. I'm going to admit that I am also cold, and I will get to that in a second. We got Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming News coming up shortly as well. 8:20 this morning, Celia Hodent, the author of The Psychology of Video Games, will join us to talk about her new book. She has a PhD in psychology. She's worked with a whole bunch of different game studios, LucasArts, Epic Games, and this book is interesting because it dives into the psychology, not only from the end user's perspective, the gamer's perspective, but from a development perspective too, user experience. So we're excited for that coming up at 8:20 Pacific time this morning. It is National Nut Day. We have news that has to do with Mountain Dew candles, pieces of content designed specifically for your phone that cost billions of dollars and are now gone. Man, it's going to be a busy morning. I'm excited. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning. This just in, when a bunch of old white guys with lots of money try to get together and become famous on the internet, it doesn't work out so well.
All right. Going right for it.
There's a lot of people calling them out. Starting yesterday, I've just been seeing things float around all over Twitter, and they're like, you mean they didn't understand what all the young people wanted in social media?
I assume this is about Quibi, right?
Yeah.
See, and I thought that was Katzenberg, but also, what's her name? Meg
Whitman.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was gonna work. I really did. So clearly, I'm not one of the hip millennials or hip Gen Xers or Gen Zers. Gen Zers, right? See, clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about. That you're talking about. I really thought it was gonna work.
Yeah.
No.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
I hadn't really looked into it much beyond, like, I saw the name. But then there are a lot of people ripping them on social medias.
$1.75 billion in capital ahead of the launch. And analysis, like, we have quotes from the Wall Street Journal, the streaming service which served up shows in 5 to 10 minute chapters formatted to fit a smartphone screen, has been plagued with problems since its April launch, facing lower than expected viewership and a lawsuit from a well-capitalized foe. The Verge talking about the shutdown happening just 6 months into it. Our failure, this is from an open letter, our failure was not for lack of trying. We've considered and exhausted every option available to us. But I also think, I guess I still think it has a lot to do with the pandemic. The whole thing was premised about watching stuff on your phone in whatever format you wanted, vertical or horizontal. And then everyone immediately had to go home for like the first 4 weeks of its launch. I don't know. I thought it was going to work. I really did. But, you know.
Yeah, here's the biggest thread that came across last night that I was reading. I remember looking at the staff team on their site talking about this story in the beginning and seeing 40-plus-year-old, mostly white, telling us what the, quote, future is and what we want as young consumers without consulting or having younger people on their team. I knew it was going to fail. Anyways, here's the issue with Hollywood. The people in power, the people who have the place and positions to make decisions, have been in position for way too long. You always need fresh blood, and you always need a different perspective from others who don't look like you.
Well, okay, that's absolutely fair, for sure. Yeah. You should tweet that out, or not tweet that out. Well, you could do either. You could tweet it out, or you can put it in our chat, because I'd like to read that. Yeah, Quibi, it's gone. 6 months after launch.
That's so much money to throw at something that didn't work. It's just
Startup world
ridiculous.
is a ruthless place.
They could just throw us, you know, like 100,000 of that, and we could get everything we want for the stream.
timestamp that because we'll probably be here 5 years later being like, why didn't this work? But it's certainly a fun hobby until it's something that's not a hobby. Yeah, Quibi. I don't think Quibi lived in the hobby stage for very long. Yeah, so it is cold. I took the dog out this morning at like 5. No, it was earlier than that. It was like 3:50 a.m. And I almost fell down on the deck. It was icy. You ran into issues last Friday because on Thursday you moved a whole bunch of stuff, right? I have this tendency to not make any changes to things unless it's the weekend. So I have multiple days to fix something. So I had intended to bring the space heater I bought about a week and a half ago out to Studio G and plug it in last weekend, and I never did. And now it is freezing out here, and I wish I had, but I'm not going to plug in a space heater to the electrical setup out here, especially ahead of a day when we have an interview, because I'm really excited about this show having a lot of interviews, right? So it'd be awful if I had it shut down the day that we did. So I have to wait till Saturday now to plug in my space heater.
Well, bring your parka.
If I start exhaling and you see my breath, then you know that it's chilly. I'm wearing socks instead of flip-flops, though, so that's a win, right?
See, I'm doing okay. It's nice and toasty over here in Studio B.
It's amazing what happens when your studio's inside your house.
Maybe you just need a giant light like I have. That'll keep you warm.
That's true, yeah. Who knew ring lights were not only a source of studio lighting, but also an insane heat source as well. I also didn't help that I ran outside because I couldn't find this specific shirt because I really wanted to wear it today. I hadn't worn it this week on stream. I love this. This is my favorite thing, which in fact kind of goes into our topic, National Color Day, which I'll get into in just a moment. But I had to open the garage door. So I let all the cold air in right off the bat this morning too, and I'm sure that didn't help me at all. Fiona Nova is the link. Okay, I'm going to take a look at that here in just a second. I also went to the dentist. You haven't complimented my beautiful smile.
It's great.
No cavities.
Nice. You did it.
I know. I actually haven't had a cavity in quite some time. So, we'll see if that lasts. But I have a mouthful of metal from my early days.
I think there's someone at your door.
My kids surprised you guys yesterday. Well, it was
Yeah, they
technically Grandma. So
yeah, she thoroughly enjoyed that.
we cleaned out a whole bunch of stuff yesterday, and one of those things that we cleaned out found found letters that my daughter had wrote to Grandma, our mother-in-law, early into quarantine, and we just never sent them out. They apparently got set aside and were never sent out. So we dressed up as mail service, and my son had a whiteboard and said, "Please sign here," and she thought it was cute. So your wife looked really confused though when she opened the door. It was good.
Good stuff.
National Color Day, which I kind of like because I kind of like some of the meanings behind colors, even though it's an incredibly arbitrary process, right? Even those that we'll share with you come from National Day of the Day or National Calendar. And it specifically says, these are perceived meanings from various colors across the United States. But the reason that I love this shirt is it's purple, and purple is my favorite color. And since I got this shirt, I've actually been happier, and that's completely like subjective, right? Like I'm probably happier just because for some reason this is making me believe that I'm happier, and I'm clearly probably not. But I love this shirt. It makes me so happy, and purple is my favorite color. So
Nice. It looks good.
thank you. You're the best. Do you have a favorite color?
You know my rule. No
What are your
favorites.
best 3 colors?
So with colors in particular, it means for me it depends on what you're talking about. Because if you ask my kids, my favorite color is red because I like USC, and therefore your only option is to like red. although I don't like wearing a lot of red unless it's specifically for USC or football related things. So, what's going on here? We have 6 people. Is this 3-on-3?
Alrighty, we're gonna play 3-on-3 gunfight.
All right, here we go. So yeah, red is a favorite color for specific reasons. I also really like blue a lot. Blue's a good color.
Gunfight. Eliminate all enemies or
Yeah,
capture
red
the
and blue.
overtime flag to
Red
win.
and blue if I had to pick a top 2.
So red supposedly means excitement, love, and strength. Blue is apparently very high quality. You're a high quality person because you're wearing blue today.
You know me.
And the weird thing too is like purple's perceived meaning in the scope of this topic is authority and power, and I clearly am not interested in really either of those. but it is funny because apparently my name means like little king in like its origin, and so then my favorite color is purple, which has to do with authority, and so clearly there's a disconnect there. I didn't get the memo.
Ugh.
Whoa, when I died I left a skull.
Yeah, the skulls. So this is gun fright, and the skulls refill your ammo.
Oh,
Move your arm.
because
So-
you have so much time and run out of ammo so often, or
Or not ammo, sorry.
your health?
Yeah. Ugh.
Nice
On
try.
to the next round. Pick it up.
So this is weird.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
We need trench.
Right.
On to the next round. Pick it up.
He caught up to me real fast.
Give them a proper English welcome.
Going left, going left. I'm gonna throw this knife over there. Oh, I almost got him. Oh, there was one right below us too.
Oh, I'm so blind.
That was unfortunate. You were incredibly
Focus on the next
flashed.
round.
You're like, I don't know where to go.
Switching sides.
Oh, well, it's nice to know
Now
they
to this
ruined
round. Push them
gunfight.
back.
3v3 just doesn't work on half of these maps.
Behind me.
I'm dead.
Let's go. Bomb games. Nice shots. Nice
Stay up. There's
shots.
more where that came from.
We'll call him delaying the inevitable.
They win this, they win it all. Time to push.
Alright, I'm going left.
That's a burst. Gosh. I heard him. I just couldn't find him. You got this. I believe in you.
I don't think I necessarily realized that you had died and he was the last left. So for a brief second, it sounded like you were talking to yourself. You
I
got
believe
this.
in myself.
I believe in you.
Don't worry, Ryan. You can do this. If you believe, that's all that matters.
All right, so Warzone, cool.
We'll play one more and then go into the morning news, and then we can go over to play Warzone. He's Sean. I'm Ryan. Gaming Morning Show at 6:22 West Coast time, 9:22 on the East. Coming up today, Celia Hodent will join us, author of The Psychology of Video Games. We have This Day in Gaming History and birthdays this hour. Next hour, we do have a top 10 list specific to color. Top 10 bizarre ways color affects your brain. Here's some of the other specific meanings of colors, and I thought this was fun too as parents of younger kids, because right now my son can't stop talking about his favorite color, which for his whole life was orange, and then they got into this new show where his favorite character wears a green jacket, so now it is green, and green means good taste and relaxation. And if there's anything that describes my son, it's relaxation. Not. Orange isn't on this list, which I found interesting. Yellow has to do with competence or happiness. Part of the reason we chose the color scheme that we have, which honestly, I initially was supposed to be a little more orangey. I think it's skewed more into the yellow in a lot of places. But that was because, this is a morning show, right? And we want things to be happy right off the bat. And so we chose to have something in that realm. Let's see. Brown, ruggedness. Black has to do with grief. White has to do with happiness as well. Pink has to do with sophistication and sincerity. And again, these are specific, perceived meanings from the U.S. And I had tried to find, too, a list that maybe had more of a worldly flavor, and I didn't find that, but I was kind of excited about this listfirst.com list about how colors affect brain.
Hands them down. Go.
Yeah, got one. I slid and got stunned at the same time. And he's right there in front of you.
Ugh.
They're making us fight for it. Give
Ooh,
it
he
to
has a
them.
pumpkin head.
Does he really?
Yeah. I think it's because he got all 3 kills.
Is he Jack?
He's jacked, yeah.
My name is Jack, the Pumpkin King. I'd much rather watch that movie than any other Halloween movie. Oh my gosh, I just missed all of my shots.
Oh.
Nice work, get the health, 100 over 46. Nice job.
Woo.
Gain pressure. Next
You get
round,
the
we
pumpkin
crush
head now.
Ugh.
How are you feeling? You okay?
Breathing's difficult.
Cause I am barely
Do you have a pumpkin
breathing.
head? Do you have a pumpkin
My
head?
name's Ewan McGregor.
Do you have a
No
head?
pumpkin head, no.
Oh, boo.
We did
Now,
it!
keep up the pressure.
Now do I have a pumpkin head?
Maybe you have to be the kill leader to get the pumpkin head?
I just want a pumpkin head.
I'm actually surprised at this point in the evolution of our show that you don't have... Oh, I got hung up on that. That sucked.
Okay.
That you don't have like a filter similar to FaceTime where your face shows up in a different manner. Because you have a voice changer, you have sound effects, you have backgrounds. Figured at this point you could make your face a
No
pumpkin.
mistakes. No prisoners.
A pumpkin king.
This gun is a toggle.
Yay.
You got me back left.
Oh, God.
He's moved. I don't think he knows about collecting the skulls though. Nice job. Oh, there's
Whoa,
two!
whoa, there's one more.
We're not done yet.
I thought there
Make
was
it
only
happen.
one left as well. I feel like
Scared me.
when Hofbrew wrote us right at the top and said, it's cold, we missed an opportunity to be like, how cold is it? Because that was the old comedy trope. Thanks for
I
the
didn't see
decoy.
anybody.
Right, their mission. So be it.
Thanks for the decoy to the streets. That's who he was looking at.
Do what I can.
Advance.
Yay, it's an AUG. There's no one there.
Now there's
No equipment. I shot him in the crotch.
2 wins down.
I wanted to
Keep up
collect the
pressure.
skull. I wanted to finish with full health.
Switching sides.
We did.
I thought you were gonna take a
Match point.
a
Another round
celebratory
and we have some.
Molotov, but someone did, I think.
Oof, I died. Someone on the left.
Oh, I just was to
Try.
his left.
They're making us fight for it. Give it to them.
You had to kill someone. Oh, he spun.
Maybe
You're
his
down 5-3. You don't get to spin.
maybe his controller
Match
got
point.
stuck.
Another
Okay.
round
Nope.
and we have some.
Nope. Down 5-3. You did not earn a spin. Oof, there were 2 in the middle.
Ah, I
Nice
ran out of
try.
ammo.
The skull should refill your health and
You
also
can
make you
stand,
not
you
have
can
to
fight.
reload.
Get ready.
I didn't even think to see. Did we have a second gun on this loadout?
No.
I also thought again because we're so used to 2v2 that I had finished him, like I finished the round. One's middle, they're just holding lanes.
Ugh.
No!
Oh.
Making us fight for it. Give it to them.
I was behind him. So lucky. I ran out of ammo, so I had to go melee him again, and
The score is tied. Keep the pressure on.
All right.
I need that skull. Oh, he got me. Right in front of you. Come on to the streets. Yes, he's such a champ.
Return home.
Never can go wrong with to the streets, man. Every time we've played with him,
Undefeated.
we've won. Yeah, absolutely. Halfway through the 6 o'clock hour. Thanks for being with us. Gaming Morning Show on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. We are with you Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time. He's Sean. I am Ryan. Still to come this day in gaming history. We're going to have birthdays for you as well. Next hour, I mentioned top 10 bizarre ways. Color affects your brain. We have some F1 news that I'm going to bring up before you have to go because, you know, we might even stream the F1 race on Sunday. Do you want to stream the F1 race on Sunday?
I'm down.
It's 6 o'clock a.m., so it's a little more doable for us. So that'll be fun.
And we have more comfortable space in here than we did last time.
We could do a laying in the bed watching F1 stream. So we just hold our phones above us.
We can cuddle.
We could cuddle. Yeah, that's the thing we could do. One quick thing before we get into the news. Positive thoughts to Colorado. I guess there is a bunch of fires that are burning near populated areas. It reminds me quite a bit of what the Pacific Northwest went through just like a month ago. And so this is an update from the National Weather Service. In Boulder, they directed residents of Grand Lake to evacuate. I don't know much about specifically what that means in terms of what that city is or what that town is, but clearly evacuations are scary. So everybody in Colorado, positive thoughts coming your way from everyone here at GMS. So with that said, halfway through the 6 o'clock hour Pacific time, 9:30 on the East, it's time to toss it to the newsroom and get the latest updates from #VideoGameExpert. Here's Sean.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020, and this is your Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming News. We got some fun ones today. First up, and I never reported on this when it happened, but I wasn't going to miss my chance to report on it before it goes away for good. Smash Bros. Patched out Minecraft Steve's meat. And if you didn't see this before, his victory screen his victory celebration, he's eating what I think in the game is like a pork chop, and then on the like freeze frame. He puts it down, and then it zooms in, and you see Steve standing here with meat kind of coming up from below. Looked a little inappropriate. There's a picture of it in the link that we're posting. This is a story from Patricia Hernandez. So my favorite part of her story, and everyone's reporting on this, but I picked hers in particular because it's titled "What I Use: Smash Bros. Patches Out Minecraft Steve's Meat." Subheader: R.I.P. Steve's Meat 2020 to 2020, which is great. So go check that out. They did fix it, which is probably appropriate, seeing as how that's a semi-kids game, and you shouldn't have a picture like that.
It honestly, because it's polygonal, I think is the right way to say it. It's not polygonal, right? Like polygonal. It looks like a beaver tail.
Yeah. Someone wasn't paying attention.
Rip Steve's meat.
Next up, Hideo Kojima and Kojima Productions has confirmed that they are working on their next project, which isn't a big surprise because that's what studios do. They put out a game and then they start working a next game. But they are currently ramping up as they're recruiting and hiring developers to work on their next game in their Tokyo-based studio. So hopefully we'll get some word as to what that is. Is it a sequel to Death Stranding? Is it the much rumored horror game that he wants to make because he was going to be rebooting that one horror franchise, Silent Hill, back in the day before things fell apart. So keep your eyes posted out for more Kojima news coming in the next few months. Last story of the day, Devolver Digital and Mediatonic bring on Faye Hayer, who is a seasoned licensing specialist, to help manage Fall Guys. Of course, with their success and everyone wanting to get in on the success of Fall Guys, they needed someone who has some experience with licensing deals so that they can kind of manage all the people that want to be a part of Fall Guys. Faye Hayer previously worked for, so it was right here. She worked in the sports world for Dunlap Sports as the licensing manager. So she clearly has some experience, and this will help push Mediatonic's surprise blockbuster forward.
Sports!
And always last but never least, we finish off today's Gaming Morning Show morning gaming news with the world-renowned segment within a segment. This is what is out today. Boop, boop, boop. Here we go. We have Raise the Dead out on PS4 and PC, and this is Raise, R-A-Y'(S), the Dead, instead of Raise the Dead. It was a good one. Disc Room out on Switch and PC, Bless Unleashed out on PS4, Macrotus: A Mother's Journey out on PS4 and Xbox One.
What was that one?
Macrotus. Yep, Macrotus: A Mother's Journey. Supraland out on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. The Red Lantern out on Switch and PC. Dwarfheim out on PC and Mac. Toolboy out on Switch. Double Pug Switch out on Switch. They Bleed Pixels out on Switch. Fractor out on Switch. Luna the Shadow Dust out on Switch. Surviving the Aftermath out on PC. And Don't Be Afraid out on PC. And for the most prestigious award in video game focused morning shows, your favorite segment within a segment within a segment, today's name of the morning goes to Asterix and Obelix XXL Rome Mastered. Rome Mastered. I did double check to make sure it wasn't a typo. It is Rome Mastered, not remastered. That is out on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, and Mac.
Well, I was going to ask you,
Mastered.
because the Row Mastered, I was like, this feels like it's about to be trouble from our comma days. I'm trying to find a tweet about it so I can retweet it and announce that it is in fact, name of the morning. I have not found one yet, so I will continue to look and send that out later today. But congratulations to Asterix and Obelix. Obelix? XXL Row Master. I found it on Steam, so I might just tweet out that link. But yeah, congratulations. I really like the art. It looks like a kind of like Viking era game. But again, you don't want to know because that creates bias. So, They Bleed Pixels wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't. Neither was. I liked Raise the Dead just because I like puns.
Ray
Ray
is the dead.
Ray is the dead.
You can well, you know what you should do too is with your runners up, right? Those that you aren't going to necessarily name of the morning, especially because they don't become eligible for name of the month. You should start playing some of those. So if you really like Raise the Dead, you should play it. You said that we were going to switch to Warzone, but then it seemed like the last gunfight went a little bit better. So I'm just making sure before I click the Warzone button.
You're driving.
Oh,
you
yeah.
drive.
Yeah, give me the power. That's why I wear the purple.
And that's why we're playing Apex.
That'd be so cool. I did mention at the top, it is not only National Color Day, but it is also National Nut Day. So,
Nuts.
so if you were thinking like, hey, I have a hankering for some cashews, or maybe a good walnut, maybe a pecan, today is your day. Pistachio. So today is your right day to maybe put some nuts on the salad at lunch. You can crush some nuts, create a nice pie, maybe a savory roast. These are all suggestions from National Calendar.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
But sometimes you don't. Today is the day that you feel like a nut, because it's National Nut Day. I'm not a big fan of nuts, and I've even evolved quite a bit because I used to not eat them at all. Like I didn't even like peanuts. Nothing. Now I'll eat dry almonds or roasted almonds, or I'll eat peanuts are fine. I love pistachios, solid, right? But just keep them out of my baked goods. The other day our wives made brownies for the household, and I got them out of the oven, or opened the lid I should say, because I don't take anything out of the oven. Who am I joking? I don't cook. And half of them were covered in pecans. What is wrong with this world?
The other half was for us.
Nuts ruined baked goods.
Yeah. No, I'm with you that I prefer them not on my baked goods. I prefer my nuts just as nuts.
That's the way nuts should be.
Mm-hmm.
Just by themselves. I did mention I wanted to talk about this F1 thing because we are planning to possibly stream the race at least on Sunday morning at 6 a.m. in Portugal, right? That's where it is?
Yep, that sounds right.
Next hour, we'll give you the full sports rundown, but Kevin Magnussen and Romain Grosjean no longer going to be part of Haas as they are separating from the team that's been with them since 2016. At least that's when Grosjean joined them. Big news? Small news?
Big news. It's weird because people have been expecting Haas to part ways with at least one of their drivers for the last 2 seasons, to my knowledge. And so it's big news in that okay, they're finally making a move and changing up the driver and seeing if they can improve in that regard. But not huge news because they've been terrible. And yeah, the team itself has struggled, but I mean there's a running joke that Grosjean crashes every race that's been going on for 2 seasons. I actually don't mind Magnussen, but Grosjean is he's so whiny. Just hearing him complain about things in the team radio is annoying.
I'm just convinced at this point that every driver, regardless of what race car they drive, F1, Indy, NASCAR, but that's only because you hear some of the best comms from when things don't go well either.
Right.
So the F1 race, the Portugal on Sunday morning. Look for a possible stream from us. It is National Color Day, so we're asking you what your favorite color is. For the record, Haas is a white and red livery. Look at me. I know so much about those things. I already got my loot from downtown. What are we doing? At least I can't get scared. I'm pretty sure the jump scares, now that I've watched enough of this being played, only have to do with if you haven't collected the loot from the zone yet.
Caution. Zombies are immune to the gas.
I'm going to say that in the moment I open this thing up. It's going to have
Primary objective is the
scares.
cover. Identified. Marking location
Oh,
now.
wrong way. Urge. Going dark. Oh, those are all dead ends. There we go.
Oh, it dead ends because it's spooky.
Next objective located.
Are you sure they weren't the undead ends?
Yes, I'm sure.
Just wanted to clarify.
Oh, I did get downtown loot, so I wonder if I hadn't already collected it. Could be wrong.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
I am watching the skies.
Objectives updated. Move
Noise.
to the next location.
Come on,
More
put my
satchel.
shield in.
Oh, the zombie got me.
Oh.
Zombie got me. I heard
Oh, I'm not gonna come
footsteps.
save you because you're deadsies.
That's right. I'll just land on my body.
You've become a zombie, but you can still help your team take down the enemy.
I kind of forgot. Like, I knew the zombies were a thing, but I kind of forgot the zombies were a thing
Oh,
at
I
the same
clearly landing on my body was stupid because he already took the vial because he just killed me. I am not smart.
Primary
Alright, well, you can buy me back.
accomplished. All supply boxes found.
time. That took
You sound
lot
like you're in a
longer than I
fight.
Probably should have.
That's me coming in. I will protect you. Oh, there's a vial behind me. Any buy stations?
Yeah, there's one over here, or do you want to go hunting for vials?
Yeah, either way. There's just none that are close. I have to go all the way right here. Is the closest one. Okay, I'll be right back. Zombieing. Don't die.
But I was gonna come with you.
Well, you can't keep up with this zombie.
You were gonna be my zombie protector.
Yeah.
Pass.
Oh, I'm hung up on a wall. I'm a zombie and I'm hung up on a wall. I think this being a zombie is vile. Alright, I'm landing on you.
My teammate has returned his home.
Now what? Now what do we do?
No, well, now we should probably buy a load.
Should I get this king?
I have.
Because that went so well yesterday.
That was superb.
Right here.
Got a vendor here if you need supplies.
All right, meet you there.
That's my shoot.
Ah, shoot.
Aw, shoot.
Thought I saw someone on the roof. It was not a person. It was
Buying armor.
buying load.
Loadout drop inbound.
Uh-oh. You can, get, you can get it through the inside. Oh, crap. I didn't get ghost. So, you
Okay,
know,
I won't get
use that information for what you will. UAV. I put some money down.
Nope.
And then I have some
Pick it
armor
up.
plates if you need it.
Nah, I'm
There's
full.
also one right there.
Bit of body
I have a
armor.
WAV.
Okay. Fire it. Thank you.
There we go.
Friendly UAV
Up to
overhead.
our
There's
left.
someone over here.
Probably downstairs. He's probably scared.
Okay, now he's.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Pushing the stairs.
This room's clear. Going upstairs. Looking left. Left's clear.
Team wipe.
Nice work. Why is he just
All right,
sitting
let's
in
get the heck out of this building.
There's
before
death
he
trap.
comes back as a zombie.
Straight ahead. On orange.
Moving up.
Copy. I'm on you. Yeah, he was just sitting in that room all scared.
Holy cow, look at the armada behind us coming in.
Right?
Looks like there's planes and cars and...
It's like we're in the middle of a war zone.
Okay, this guy should be right to our right. He just opened up a box.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, it's a decoy. He's right here.
Contact. Grenade out. Stun around.
I hit him with a stun, wrapping right. I'm getting shot from the firehouse. I'm gonna die. Please miss me.
Okay, I broke that guy.
There we are.
And I'm in cover.
Where is he?
He was down that alleyway that way. I think he took
Let's
off.
get you fixed up.
I'm worried about firehouse. I'm worried about firehouse. Oh god, no. No, I should have healed first or something.
Now I am a zombie.
Your teammate is a zombie. Help them regain their
Splat.
You've become a zombie.
Ow.
Still help your team take down the enemy.
Jeez, that sounds so painful.
Did you see the tweet from yesterday?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm splitting from you.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the
Oh, someone
skies.
took that vial. Okay, stadium it is.
Gas is moving in. Use safe zone located.
What could happen?
Ow.
Got a loadout drop inbound.
I assume zombies can open doors, right?
I don't see why not. Oh, it's downstairs.
That scared the crap out of me.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Get it. Okay, I got mine.
Okay, one.
Okay, we have our guns, right?
I think so.
Yes, we do. Okay, I'm outside the stadium. I'm gonna get this car real quick. That's a lot of money just sitting there. That's concerning.
There it is.
Gas is
Alright.
closing in.
I'm back. Alright.
Oh, he got me. Yeah, there was a guy right here. I tried to steal his car. I'm spray painting him. These two guys at gas just sitting in that one little hut.
Consume the remains of the dead to regain your humanity. There are 50 still active. Good hunting.
These zombie noises, I don't like it.
Should be eating the vial. Where is this vial? I literally should be touching it. It's up there.
Oh, his friend got me.
Okay, again, I'm on top of a vial. Maybe this door?
There's bad guys over here.
Okay, I should be on top of a vial. Okay, maybe up
There's
here.
an easy kill right there because I downed him.
Oh, are you not healthy?
Yeah, I'm down.
Oh, I
Alright,
can't
well, there's a
find-
vial on my dead body.
I can't find this file. It's gone now, so someone
Your
else found it.
teammate is a zombie.
Oofed.
I'm gonna go get this one. That one? You getting that one that's on you?
Yep.
Okay.
Got one.
Files are really few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's gonna get that one. You can climb up zip lines,
Oh.
in case you were wondering.
Victory rests on your shoulders.
I got stuck on a
Finish the
gate
mission.
and the guy killed me.
Yeah, that guy's gonna get it first. Bad jump. Yes, I got
Nice
it. I was
work.
so worried. There's someone else up here.
That's not the sight you want to see. Zombies flying around.
There should be a guy over here. I'd kill for a UAV right now.
Gas is moving
Okay,
in.
maybe not.
New safe zone located.
Oh, I need to get you back. How can I do that? I need to kill a zombie, basically.
You need lots of money.
He did not fall through there. Oh, I could have got that. Silly. I need to go get this so I can get Ghost. Don't mind all the stomping you hear up here. It's definitely not a human.
Nice.
Sure, that guy's not over there anymore. That doesn't sound bad.
Hostile dropping into the area. What? Gas is inbound.
Oh look, people.
That was horrible shooting.
You did make him think twice about staying there, though. Nice.
How am I not dead? Let's not ask questions. I have no... Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Serpentine movements, serpentine movements. That was so not worth it. I blew all my shield off and didn't get anything. I'm not leaving money out there, right?
No, you're good.
I also was lucky because I had switched to Semtexes,
Uh-huh.
and that's what I thought I had, and then clearly that's not what I had. Okay, come on, flush this guy straight to me. You're not interested in me.
Nice.
I'm a little concerned now. Oh,
Oh, nice try.
look, there was two other guys there.
Yep.
Oh, all right, let's just go get these. Let's just go get these. Let's go get these. Let's go get these.
Take down the enemy.
Splat.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
That'll never get old.
Oh, you got error. Oh, he got both of them. That guy sucks.
One. Again! You keep getting miles right around people that want to shoot you.
Okay, I'm gonna go center circle because I don't have a better plan at this point.
Enemy UAV overhead. Gas
Whew.
is closing in.
So there are
Relocating
27 other people, 12 zombies, 13 zombies, 12 zombies, 11 zombies. Am I helping?
There's a guy in this house. There's a guy in this house. He's gonna die, clown.
Nice work.
What? There's two? There's two! Oh, he also climbed up there. Oh, I should have been dead from the first person.
Yeah, for sure.
Regain your humanity.
Ugh. So much fun.
Every time.
That's a
Hostile
s-
dropping into the area. Watch the
That's a
skies.
bad guy.
Duh. Oh, he doesn't know. Nice work.
The other one should be down here somewhere.
Losing ground.
I kind of just want
Alright.
to stay a zombie. I'm not gonna lie. It's really fun to be a zombie.
It is.
Oh, missed that jump. Oh. There's definitely no one in here though. Oh, ooh, ooh. Please don't be scary. wonder if I'm still ghosted.
I feel like you should be.
Okay, do
You
I have
keep
enough?
everything else.
No. Ooh, maybe. Oh, I'm so...
Down. Yep.
I was clearly confused.
He was down to your left. Was one guy. There are apparently two of them.
Remains in the pit to regain
It's
your
gonna die now, clown.
Oh, now there's 3 of them in there.
I like my odds. Nope.
Oh no!
Why'd I jump toward them? That was a bad choice. Oh, you're shooting me. Let me come closer. That was a bad choice. Milk was a bad choice. Oh, okay. Hey, that was fun. That was more fun than Gunfight.
Yeah.
With 3 people. I think Gunfight would be fun with 2.
Yep, for sure.
6:58. We got to do some birthdays real fast. And then you got to cut out. I'm going to miss you today, just so you know.
Me too. I'm not happy about the current situation.
Well, stay safe for sure. Celia Hodent joining us 8:20 a.m. Pacific time today. Excuse me, so be sure to stick around for that. Birthdays to celebrate on this October 22nd, 2020. Thanks for being with us. Christopher Lloyd turns 82, and I think this is the day after Back to the Future Day.
Oh.
Because it was October 21st in 2015 where they went into the future. 1985, I think, is the present day that movie was set in. Yeah, multiple Emmys for Christopher Lloyd and Taxi and such. Jeff Goldblum. I didn't see this one when I was prepping. 68 years old today.
One more year.
I just want to capture my buddy Travis doing his impressions of Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park. They're so good. So good. Bob Odenkirk turns 58 today. Rapper Shaggy turns 52 today. That reminds me of the Among Us thing that I sent you, where it's like, I saw you in the vent, wasn't me. Saw you in the shower, wasn't me. Producer Spike Jones is 51 today. He apparently also did the Beastie Boys Sabotage video, which I was not aware of.
Know that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Other notable or historical birthdays today. Brian Boitano, what would he do? Olympic skater, is 57 today. Former Browns coach Hugh Jackson is 55. Ichiro Suzuki, Major League Baseball star for the Seattle Mariners, most notably 47. Pele was born this day as well. The FIFA Player of the Century, was born in Brazil, all-time scorer in Brazil national team history, and the only footballer, soccer player, to be part of 3 World Cup winning teams. And then let's see who else on this list. Zach Hansen from your favorite band Hanson is 35 today. Bop, dop, doo wop.
Is he the one that turned out to be racist? Which was the one that just had issues on social media? Do you remember that?
I don't, and I hope it's not Zach, because I just said he had a birthday today, and otherwise I would have ignored him. Rock musician Rickard Goransson of Carolina Liars, 37. I just like this. This reminds me of Row Mastered. In the copy that we had for this, it says Rickard, and then in parentheses, correct, as in, don't assume it was supposed to be Richard and we misspelled it. It actually is Rickard. That's really smart. That's all I got on here. Any others that you see that you want to mention?
No, those. I think you caught all the big ones for me.
This day in gaming history, Tonkin House in 1993 released the Sylphia video game for the PC Engine in Japan. Can you decipher anything of what I just said?
Those were words, yeah.
They were, and I know where Japan is. So, 1996,
PC is.
Sega released the Netlink modem and internet web browser for $200 to attach to your Saturn. I mean,
Technology's weird.
Well, it is, and I remember how much money. I was very lucky to have a grandparent who left me a savings bond, and I used that to buy my first laptop. But I spent way too much money on a very underpowered laptop. I picture myself being the guy who spent $200 on an adapter for a video game thing because it connects to the internet. I'll someday. I won't do it now because we got to go. But I will tell you about my story regarding being so excited to text message because I couldn't text message for like the first 3 years of owning a cell phone because I grew up in this small town. Last but not least, Take-Two Interactive released Grand Theft Auto 3 for PlayStation 2 in the US. I find that interesting. Did Take-Two used to be Rockstar Games? Did Rockstar buy Take-Two? I'll have to look into that one.
I'm confused about that as well. Yeah.
In 2005, Tiger Telematics released the Gizmondo handheld video game system. I don't really have anything else to tell you about this other than it costs $339. Or you could get it for $229 with daily downloaded advertisements. So I found that interesting because that was in 2005. That was an early model of, basically ads or no ads, right? But also the fact that it was called the Gizmondo, and all I could think of was Gizmodo. So there were lots of reasons I included that one. All right. That's your This Day in Gaming History. He is Sean. I am Ryan. He's got to go. Everyone wave goodbye to Sean and say we'll miss you and make sure that he knows he's loved today. Go wear your red shirt.
I think I do have a red shirt.
You mentioned USC. You forgot the Flames, and you have one of the coolest red polos for the Flames. So
Yeah, maybe I'll wear that today. I think
You
that's
should.
also funny.
all right, have a great day, and be sure to join us if you can for the Celia interview at 8:20. Otherwise, be sure to find that on Twitter later.
Take-Two Interactive owns Rockstar Games.
No
So
kidding.
It's the next level up.
No kidding. I thought Rockstar was the top level, so that's interesting.
Yeah. So Rockstar Games is a development studio. Take-Two Interactive is a publisher. So it's developed by Rockstar, published by Take-Two.
And now I know stuff that I didn't know yesterday, and that's why we do this show. All right, have a great day, Sean.
See-
I always cut him off. I gotta quit doing that. All right, we will see Sean hopefully sooner than later. 10 Bizarre Ways Color Affects Your Brain. That is our top 10 list coming up next hour. Technically this hour because it is already 7:04 on the West Coast. We'll have sports coming up as well. And then, as I mentioned, our interview with Celia Hodent, the author of The Psychology of Video Games, coming your way at 8:20 Pacific time this morning. I'll talk more about that. I have a Mountain Dew candle story as well. Lots still to come on Gaming Morning Show. Thanks for being with us on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and maybe Twitter. Also at gamingmorningshow.tv. You can find us by typing in gms.watch. It is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. Back in a moment. Morning, gamers! It is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. Thanks for being with us. Gaming Morning Show continues. I am Ryan. Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and a gamingmorningshow.tv. It is National Color Day, and so we're asking you, what is your favorite color? And do you change your favorite color often? I ask because my 5-year-old seems to change his mind every single day about what his favorite color is. I'm technically wearing mine, which is purple, and I worry that it's showing up on stream as more of like a royal blue. The pen is blue. I love Liar Liar. But according to National Calendar, I gotta make sure I click on this link because I always misremember the name of this website, nationaldaycalendar.com, because I need to give nationaldaycalendar.com credit, because that when we find a topic of the day that has to do with national colors or national day of the day or whatever, it comes from nationaldaycalendar.com. And so they included some perceived meanings of various colors in the US, which it's very much subjective. Purple is my favorite color, but it has to do with authority and power, which was never my intention. But also my name means apparently, by most common knowledge, a little king. So who knows? Maybe I'm more power loving than I suspect. A goose. Good morning, Hoff Brew. Thanks for being here with us. It is so cold. It is very cold outside. I mentioned this at the top. Studio G is not a heated area of my home, and it didn't help that I opened the garage door right off the bat. So let all the cold air in. Oh, it could be warmer for sure. Celia Hodent will join us coming up at 8:20, so just over an hour from now. The Psychology of Video Games, and this is a book that she wrote. She's worked with different studios to focus on user experience. Epic Games, probably the most notable that's going on right now with their success with Fortnite. But one thing I liked about reading the sample of her book, which is available on Amazon and anywhere books are sold, I suspect, it's very to the point. It seems very candid. It seems, for something as complex as a topic of psychology around anything, which, by the way, this book is part of a Psychology of Everything series, which I didn't know until I read the sample, and I think that's pretty cool. It tries to make the book as simple to kind of navigate through, and it comes from both the perspective of a gamer, the end user, and then also from the developer standpoint too. So I will have that at 8:20 this morning. Excited to talk to Celia coming up at that point. Let's see, National Nut Day as well. So if you're big into almonds and cashews and peanuts and you like to put them everywhere like salads and in what otherwise would be delicious brownies that shouldn't have nuts in them, today is your day. It's National Nut Day. And we're spreading positive thoughts over to Colorado too. Apparently the evacuations near the Boulder area are continuing, so that's kind of a tough subject for sure. I feel bad, especially having had all the wildfires in this area and my wife's hometown having issues with that, and then people that we know close to us, even in our current town, that have lost their home or at least were threatened and had to evacuate at some point. So it's not an easy time, and so positive thoughts over to Colorado. We mentioned earlier Quibi is no longer a thing after nearly $2 billion in investment ahead of time. That place is shutting down. They were doing 5 to 10 minute episodes of shows that were formatted for both vertical and horizontal on your phone. There's a link that Sean shared earlier. I had to reset my chat, so I don't have it ahead of time. I will find it, but it talked about trying to formulate content that people want without having people in the room who can give you feedback on what people want. That was an interesting perspective that I hadn't considered, because I really thought Quibi failed a lot because the pandemic. You design something that's for your phone, 5 to 10 minute episodes, right? So that's for the commute on the bus or a work break of 15 minutes, right? Like, it seems like that's what it was designed for, and they launched in April, so it was shortly after the pandemic started to cause problems in the United States, and everyone that could was asked to work from home for a while. And that kind of started to get lifted toward the end of April. So that early adoption period when their marketing was so heavy, that's really what I had thought it would be the cause of their downfall. And clearly, it sounds like, according to analysis from the story we got from The Verge, Wall Street Journal had a quote, it really wasn't the case. They're not attributing it much to the pandemic at all. So I guess now I know. I got sports coming up for you shortly. We'll talk about F1, Game 2 of the World Series yesterday. We'll bring that up. That's coming up on Gaming Morning Show. I have a Jared Leto piece that I'll get to, has to do with the Joker. I actually had thought about doing this as a topic of the day. Who is the best Joker movie portrayal of all time? You've had Jared Leto, you've had Jack Nicholson, you had Heath Ledger, and Joaquin Phoenix, right? Those are the four that have played the Joker in major motion pictures. Maybe those who are more versed in the comic book world can help me out. I also have news about a Mountain Dew scented candle, which I'm actually very excited about. So stick around. We got more coming up on Gaming Morning Show. And again, Celia Hoden set to join us at 8:20 a.m. Pacific time. What is your favorite color and why? And I can give you some of the meanings. This is again from nationaldaycalendar.com. They have different lists of reasons things mean what they mean. Red's excitement, yellow, happiness, green, good taste or relaxation, blue, high quality, pink, sophistication and serenity. And then apparently purple is still has to do with authority and power, which I think the reason that I've always liked purple is because my high school, that was its color. I know I got people around me. And unfortunately, I picked the house with nothing in it. I'm gonna throw the... Oh, I don't like that at all. Do you hear those giggles and things? There's someone here. Well, that didn't work. I'm also by myself. This is a 3-player game, and I'm playing it by myself because I'm not smart. No, they don't give reason. I mean, there's plenty of places that I'm sure do give meanings, Hofbrew, but I can't think of the one that National Day Calendar doesn't have the specifics. I've heard the thing about purple plenty of times that it has, and I think that that's even like been mentioned or seen in like, you know, robes and things that royalty have wore before. So I also think I like purple because it just is a unique color to me, because it's such a close variation to blue that most people are attracted to blue, is my guess, my perception. I don't know. Whee! This is the best part about playing with the zombie, is you just get to run around. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, this is a bad idea. Let's skip over that one and go out here. There's a little more in the open, I hope.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Yeah, I see this thing right here, in my opinion.
UAV overhead.
Except there's people up there, too. Well, that was a fun game.
Trailer's a proper teacher.
Yeah, this is too hard of a game to play when it's just me. I miss Sean. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know the details about why. I think a lot of the color thing reminds me too. I'm really, when I'm focused in on it, I'm really interested in things like zodiac signs. So I do really like that part of of astrology. Like zodiac signs are super interesting to me, but I think it's a pretty subjective, thing as well. 7:21 West Coast time, 10:21 on the East. Thanks for being with us. Gaming Morning Show continues on this Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. We have sports coming up in just a few moments, and then, like I said, that Jared Leto story I'll tell you about. Our name of the morning this morning was Asterix and Obelix XXL Remastered. It's out today for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, and Mac. We'll rehash some of our gaming headlines coming out at the end of the show. This is the thing about the Mountain Dew candle. So this is from Etsy. You can buy, this is cool, I'm going to put it in the chat. You can buy a Mountain Dew scented candle. And it comes in a Mountain Dew kind of style can. Let me put this in the chat because I was pretty impressed. I think this looks kind of cool. It's an Etsy store. And it might not be the only place you can get something like this. But it's a soy-based candle. That's a really big link. But there you go. There it is. Yeah, so one review stated, it's the perfect gift for my Mountain Dew obsessed partner. It definitely has a sweet citrus smell. I know he will get a kick out of it. And shipping was super fast too, even considering COVID-related delays. So if you're thinking of a gift for that special somebody, then maybe the Mountain Dew candle is the way to go.
Kill confirmed. No prisoners. Shoot to kill.
This is a Halloween-themed mosh pit. Oh, that guy is just flying. Oh, I got him though. Got him! I'm so slow. I must not have double time on. Holy cow. Oh, the kill confirms are the skulls. And then when you get those, I think you instantly get your health back.
Kill confirmed. UAV overhead.
I was just slashing away with that guy. Oh, I almost got them all. I miss mosh pits.
Control.
Never was a big fan of the mosh pit. I'm not gonna lie. I have been in one mosh pit in my life, and that was my wife. Then I believe we were still dating. Took me to a Good Charlotte concert. Wasn't really eager to go to Good Charlotte, but she took me to this because she wanted to see Newfound Glory, which was a band that was opening up for Good Charlotte. We went down probably 10 rows to the stage, and with Good Charlotte being the headliner, there were a lot of younger people than me there. I even would say that there were probably, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids there. And being as big as I am, and especially relative to the size of these kids, this guy right here. He's ruining me. I can't get this guy. I became an anchor point for these kids, trying to stay up in the mosh pit. Oh, good. I didn't want to take his weapon. And so that was probably my only real experience in anything that could be discussed as a mosh pit, because I don't imagine like I imagine the difference between like a System of a Down or a Mudvayne mosh pit is unfathomable to me, referencing a mosh pit at a Good Charlotte concert, right? Like, if you're telling me that I was in the middle of a mosh pit light, I'd believe you, because I was probably more in a crowd. But I did not enjoy that experience whatsoever, and it's not a claustrophobia thing, because I don't mind being in tight spaces. It's just definitely was not my jam from a I want to do this all the time standpoint. Wall of Death. That sounds really dark. I still need to tweet out too. There was a great Instagram video of this guy waking up. I assume his girlfriend. That's my guess. And she's late for work. And he has this machine that I feel like I need to have for my kids because it looks so cool. And it's designed, that hurt, to like auto-tune your voice or something like that. And it's really cool. And he gets up and he's like, he's telling her, he's like, "You're late for work," but in a much better, auto-tune fashion. And it's like, "I tried to wake you up." And she's starting to like look at her clock and realize, what's happening. And she's just getting mad. She's like, "Why can't you wake me up like a normal person?" And, he continues. And he starts hitting like some high notes, which is just hilarious. Yeah, it's a good bit. I'll try to find that at the break and share that with you in the chat. I don't know what that trophy system does. That system actually stop the thingamabobber? The Wheelson? Huh. Yeah, I had tweeted a System of a Down thing the other day. It's unfortunate. There's not another Wilson. Oh, is there? AFK. Yeah, Mountain Dew candle. Can't go wrong. It is now 7:30 on the West Coast. Thanks for being with us. Gaming Morning Show continues. We're a morning radio show that plays games. So instead of music, we play games and we keep conversation going whilst playing games. The goal is to have multiple co-hosts, so it's not just me. This is a rarity, especially on a Thursday. Usually Monday and Thursday, it's Sean and me all together for the whole entire duration of the show. Fridays, sometimes we've had a co-host, but working on building that part of it. If you've ever watched or listened to like the Dan Patrick Show or Howard Stern, any show that's live and kind of focuses in on bringing a lot of different people to the forefront, that's kind of what we're focused on. It's tough, even just to get guests like Celia, who will join us at 8:20 this morning. I'm super thankful, because the one thing that's specific to the world of radio and getting interviews a lot of times has to do with that audience, right? And so you're here with us, and I appreciate it. And I know that this is a long-term plan, but today is kind of tough because, it's the third straight show of doing the final 2 hours by myself, and that's not fun. And so excited to have Sean back when he can come back. I got sports news for you, and then I'll tell you that Jared Leto story through the next game. Let's do sports. I mentioned earlier in the first hour, just because Sean and I are planning to do a stream for the F1 race this Sunday, 6 a.m. Pacific time from Portugal. I don't think we can legally, or if nothing else, via the terms of service of any of the platforms we're on, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, we can do a stream where we actually watch the ESPN syndication feed of Sky Sports with you. But we're going to probably just throw up the tracker where it shows where everyone is on the track, and then you can watch on your TV if F1 is of at all interest to you. Kevin Magnussen, though, and Romain Grosjean no longer part of Haas F1 after the conclusion of this year's championship. The pair has been with Haas for a long time, 4-year partnership, and it's the longest tenure of any duo of drivers in F1 other than Mercedes, which has Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Brandon Lope, 2 home runs. The Rays even the series with Los Angeles, the World Series tied at 1 game apiece. 6-4 win for Tampa Bay over the Dodgers yesterday. Dodgers trailed 5-0 and actually closed the gap with NLCS MVP Corey Seager's solo home run in the 8th. It'll be Joe Wendell driving in 3 runs for Tampa Bay. Will Smith, he homered, as did Chris Taylor, to help the Dodgers rally. I'm assuming Game 3 is tomorrow night, because Joe Buck is probably calling Thursday Night Football tonight on Fox. He's got quite the gauntlet ahead of him with the World Series and NFL going on simultaneously. I think I'm right. He'll probably be in Philadelphia. Giants and Eagles tonight at 5:20 on Fox. Game 3 of the Dodgers and Rays is 5:08 Pacific time on Friday. I messaged Ben Fleming, who's my hashtag baseball expert on Twitter. You can follow me, Hefty Goof, on Twitter, and the show's at WatchGMS. And I was just asking, I'm like, why is it that we have a 5:11 p.m. Pacific time start for Game 1 of the World Series? Because the NFL, as far as I can remember, has always had a 3:30 Pacific kickoff for the Super Bowl. I was watching the Stanley Cup Final and the NBA Finals over the last, month or so, and both of those seem to have right on the hour or half-hour starts. Here's baseball coming in at 11 after the hour, and I was very confused as to why. And it turns out that Ben's best inkling is baseball's always done things where the ceremonial start of the game begins at the top or the 30-minute mark. And so everything kind of counts off of that. And so after player introductions, maybe you're doing the anthem, maybe you have a ceremonial first pitch. All that stuff takes about 8 to 11 minutes, and then that's when you get to first pitch at that point. So that's the best guess I have so far. Maybe you can let us know in the chat. Let's see, what else happened yesterday? Stan Van Gundy, now going to be the Pelicans head coach. Who did he replace? It doesn't say in this copy that I have. I didn't know the Pelicans moved on from their coach. So, yeah, Stan Van Gundy's now the head coach in New Orleans. Former Masters champion Adam Scott has tested positive for coronavirus, so he's withdrawn from this weekend's event, the Zozo Championship at Sherwood on Wednesday. Dustin Johnson, number 1 player, tested positive for COVID last week at the CJ Cup. And then the Westminster Dog Show is moving outdoors. They're going to go to an estate 25 miles north of Manhattan for the event June 12th through 13th. That's next year. They've already made plans that far in advance. The shift will be the first time in more than 100 years that it has not been at Madison Square Garden. That's kind of cool. And Merritt Norvell Jr., the first black athletic director at Michigan State, has died. He was 79. A spokesperson at the University of Nevada confirmed Wednesday that football coach Jay Norvell, who is Merritt's son, took some time away because from the team because of the death. Norvell was appointed the Michigan State AD in 1995, served there until 1999. All right, there's your sports. Yeah, you can use we use Stream Beats for our music. You can find that Alpha Gaming on YouTube. All right, so stick around later this hour. Oh, I jumped the gun on sports. I was supposed to do the list of the day. We'll do that toward the end of the hour, around 7:50. 10 bizarre ways color affects your brain, because today is National Color Day. And so if you're a big fan of pink or red or yellow, we can tell you possibly a reason for that.
Headquarters. Capture each HQ as a
So yesterday I played Domination thanks to our friend Culty Vibes, friend of the show. And he showed us how
taking the HQ.
Throwing a stun! Hit! I'm hit!
I fended off 2 of them. He showed us how the Domination waypoints are
Throwing a stun!
scarecrows, which I thought was awesome.
Tested. Securing the HQ. HQ contested.
I didn't realize that was a bad person. I should have. I failed. It's not going to end well for me.
Enemy on the HQ.
Where'd that guy go? I thought he was getting
Friendly
a
UAV online. They've taken the HQ.
disable now.
Enemy at the
I thought he was getting a head start.
Control.
Throwing a stun!
HQ secure. New location on the way. Stand by. Friendly precision airstrike on the way.
Where is the next one? Where am I?
Location confirmed.
here,
Secure the HQ.
Well, that was rough.
Taking effective fire.
HQ online. We're taking the HQ.
Grenade out.
Enemy UAV overhead.
We're so close. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, this Jared Leto story is he's back to play the Joker in the Snyder Cut. He was the Joker in the Suicide Squad adaptation.
Enemy on the HQ.
It's a 4-hour-long episodic presentation on HBO Max. The Snyder Cut is. Man, we got so close to capturing that, and then we failed. And well, that's what happens when you're looking at your notes. I did not want to do that.
Throwing a stun!
Personal radar drone set. HQ secure.
Reloading!
That's what I'm using, I
On the
guess.
way. Stand by.
Take that, thank you. I didn't even use any weapons. So yeah, Justice League went under a lot of changes from the original production. Snyder had to leave the
Go.
creation of that movie. I think he had some personal things to attend to. Can't remember if it was a death or something else, but I remember that that was what I think was the case. But yeah, so they call the Joker in this article from Umberto Gonzalez from The Rap. They call... That's a teammate.
HQ online. Secure it.
they call him the Clown Prince, which I'd never heard the Joker referred to as before, but I would believe that that's probably a very common thing.
HQ secure. Set the cluster strike is go for launch.
So let's see. I can read this now. Jared Leto, 2016 Suicide Squad back, play the Joker in Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, according to an individual with knowledge of the project. The so-called Snyder cut, as I mentioned, $70 million. Initial reporting held that no additional filming would occur,
Location on the way.
and new
Stand by.
material would largely consist of special effects. That clearly has changed. And again, this is from the Raps, Humberto Gonzalez. Oh, geez, I have a bunch of stuff to
HQ
deploy.
identified.
This is Joseph 202.
We'll go here. There's lots of people in the building. So yeah, I am excited to watch the Snyder Cut only because
HQ online.
I'm not huge into the comic book films. Like, I haven't been into the Avengers or anything. And so, because I wanted to go to the theater, this pre-pandemic, clearly, because I wanted to go to the pandemic, or go to the theater, because I'm social and I'm extroverted, and I like going to the movie theater, even though I had no interest in seeing, you know, Batman. I didn't have any interest in seeing Avengers. I picked my spot
Enemy on the
with going to the Justice League movie, and I think I want to say I gotta watch Wonder Woman in theater as well. So
UAV overhead.
Sean, who's our co-host, is really into those movies, and his wife, my wife, not so much. My wife definitely more than his wife per se, and so we made an agreement where on the Avengers movies, my wife would go along, and then on the DC movies, sorry, I should say Marvel movies, my wife would go along, and on the DC movies, I would go along. Am I in the wrong place? Is it upstairs? It must be, because that guy is just sitting there. And so I got to go watch Justice League in theaters, and that was fun. But everyone kept talking about how it was a disappointment, and I mean, I don't know. I thought it was fun. It was fun to watch. I had a good time.
Enemies halfway there. Step it up. HQ is down.
How did I miss that?
Stand by.
So yeah, I'll watch the HBO Max thing for sure, just especially because I've seen it. So gotta quit looking at my notes.
Burn. Secure the HQ.
All right, am I in the target? Is this it? Nope, target's on the other side of the wall, I believe. Unfortunate.
Enemy UAV overhead. Online. They're capturing the HQ. Personal radar drone standing. HQ contested. Counter UAV on standby. We're at the HQ. Standby.
Oh, I should have shot higher.
Enemy precision airstrike it. HQ is ours. Defend the area.
This is not.
HQ contested.
It's not the best move. Not designed for long range.
HQ contested. Perimeter breach. Defend the HQ. HQ shut down.
Well, at least I got him with the Betty.
New location on the way. Stand by.
Ready for counter UAV. Actual. We need your eyes.
Oh, couldn't even see that guy.
Location confirmed. Secure the HQ.
Let's see, last night, well, yesterday more so, I went to the dentist. And that was fun, because I got my teeth cleaned. It's good to have clean teeth. It was, you know, it's weird, too, going back to, like, social extroversion. So I drive about an hour and a half to go to the dentist just because we had this dentist in college. And
Throwing a stun.
really liked all the things that she's done for my teeth, because I have notoriously bad teeth, like really bad teeth.
Reloading.
And
Rambler fuel. Falcon 3-0.
I have to
Personal
reload.
radar depleted. Recalling to
and so it was great because I got out of the house. I got to drive 3 hours round trip, and I got to see people at the dentist's office. And I was driving home. It was probably about 40 minutes from getting home, and that's when it dawned on me. I'm like, I'm pretty happy. Like, today was a happy day
enemy has captured the HQ.
because I got a chance to do something fairly extroverted. That's unfortunate. The rumble of the planes. So yes, going to the dentist was actually a very fun affair yesterday, as opposed to, you know, dreading it like many of the dentist visits of old.
Throwing a stun.
Enemy UAV.
Reloading.
HQ captured.
I got him. You're okay. Now, send the recon.
So I enjoyed that, but this morning, woke up for the first time this year. It's been like freeze cold, right? And so went outside and took the dog, used the bathroom, and almost slipped and fell on my deck because I wasn't expecting it to be sub 30 degrees. And so there was frost on the deck. He's the other way. It's this way. And so that was unexpected, but we didn't fall, which was a win, and got the dog outside. She was whiny this morning.
HQ online. Secure it.
One dead here.
3-0. Personal radar depleted.
Where is it? Oh, am I standing on it?
Securing the HQ.
I'm reloading.
Enemy counter UAV online.
I set the drop point.
Contested. Falcon 3. Enemy personal radar online. Personal radar drone standing by.
Oh, I just missed.
AO is on plan. Stand by
All right.
for redeployment.
So that was kind of a change. Is we're just cold. It's like the first crisp, cold day of winter, which was great because that's kind of my jam, but was not expecting it. The downside is where the studio is, it's cold because I haven't added my space heater that I planned to put in here. I decided not to do that because I don't like to change things during the middle of the week. Because then if something stops working, I can have to troubleshoot it, and that's usually a bad deal. And so I decided not to do that.
Fuel depleted. Initiating self-destruct.
Okay, it should be upstairs, right? There's a lot more HQ spots than usual.
Have to reload.
That guy must have eaten my procs.
Now, send the recon.
Copy. Falcon 3 en route. HQ online. Secure it. Enemy on the HQ. HQ contested.
Landing for you.
We're taking the HQ.
I'm out. Reloading.
Oh, I hurt myself. I was gonna say, why don't I get to go back? I feel like I ran just right by somebody who should have otherwise shot me.
Less than a minute. We're losing our window. Time to move.
Have to reload.
Personal radar depleted.
Oh, I didn't see him. Oh, living on a prayer.
Shutting down the enemy HQ.
Throwing a stun.
Oh, there was someone down there. This guy, I think, is just going after kills because there's no reason that he should have been there. Unless he was on his way and I just missed it.
Stand by.
Oh, I got shot in the back.
Friendly precision airstrike on the way.
Oh, friendly precision airstrike. I can tell too when I'm definitely lonely on the show. I sing a lot. So, oh, cluster. All right, what do we got over here?
Okay, I've set the drop zone.
HQ active. Secure the location.
It should be nearby, right? Should be in here.
Changing mag.
30 seconds. Time's up. Move. Move. Enemy personal radar online. HQ contested. Enemy UAV
Don't know what that
overhead.
sound was. Did y'all just hear
Enemy
a
on the HQ.
doo-doo? Sounded Discordy.
They've taken the HQ.
Could have been through their thing too. All right, game over, man. 7:53.
Ourselves up.
Gaming Morning Show continues. Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. Coming up, Celia Hoden going to join us, talk about the psychology of video games. She's the author of this new book. I'll come up in about 30 minutes from now. I did everything wrong and did sports first. We switched sports to the 7 o'clock hour a couple days ago, and clearly I forgot my timing of the whole 7 o'clock hour as a result, which is fine. We usually do an interview at 7:25 in the 7:25 hour, or we have a list of the day. In this case, we have the latter. It is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020, and it is National Color Day. So according to listverse.com, we have 10 bizarre ways that color affects your brain, which is kind of fun because the psychology of video games is all about, brain stuff anyway. So a lot more about the mind as opposed to the brain, which is a distinction that you should definitely check out in general. It's referenced in the book for sure. This is from Paulina Destarak of listverse.com. 10 bizarre ways color affects your brain. All right, number 10, red. This kind of was prologued about a discussion regarding red. But in this instance, number 10 has to do with the way that our brain associates the color red with danger. This is a study from 2012, and it found that waitresses who wore red were tipped between 14.6 and 26% more by men compared to those wearing other colors. The reason for this ties into the fact you probably have heard before: red increases attractiveness. I have never heard that in my life. The only thing that I've heard about red from a materials standpoint is red cars cost more to insure because there's a perception that they go faster. I'd never heard that one before though. Oh, so are these all about specific colors? Yeah. Here we go. 9, orange, which was not on our earlier list from nationaldaycalendar.com, which had to do with perceived meanings of colors in the U.S. They had red, yellow, green, blue, pink, violet, brown, black, white. And in this case, orange is not associated necessarily with a single feeling, but it can affect us in many ways, one of which is warmth. If a room is painted orange, for example. Orange is also thought to be associated with good value. So if you have stores with orange logos, like Home Depot, they're supposed to be high-quality, low-cost goods to consumers. I think Big Lots also uses orange. Yellow, which is, we mixed orange and yellow because yellow has to do usually with happiness that I've read. In this case is number 8 on the list, feelings of joy, openness, and friendliness. So we kind of picked a mix between orange and yellow. It definitely skews a little more yellow, I think, than I ever expected. Number 7 on the list is green. Green is a beautiful color associated with forests. Also references a highlighter that might have come in a pack of 4 that you've never used. No one really does ever pick the green highlighter, right? Usually yellow gets picked first. Psychologists, though, have found that green can increase creativity, nature, and growth. So it's not surprising either to assimilate those feelings toward ourselves when thinking about green. Number 6 on this list, top 10 bizarre ways color affects your brain. Number 6, light blue. Blue, opposite of red. It's the second most studied color. And blue is calmness and concentration. Also associated with openness and peace. In fact, according to this author, doing a quick Google search for Peace Day will confirm this, since the universal symbol for peace is of a white dove holding a small branch in front of a light blue background. Now, on the other side, number 5 is dark blue, and it has similar effects. It can also be found to calm the nerves. There are numerous studies comparing and contrasting the effects of blue and red, as we mentioned earlier. Let's see, this is another area where it's designed to try to calm things, because in London, Blackfriars Bridge was painted blue to reduce the number of people who jump from it. Interesting. Blue environments cause participants to produce twice as many creative outputs as they would have in a red-dominated environment. Number 4 on this list, here we go. This is my color, purple. Purple is, quote, a strange color to analyze, which I already like it more because of that. Because it's blue and red, it affects people differently. Purple is not, according to this study, is not studied as much by color psychologists. Purple has made rooms feel colder. Let's see, purple is also an opposite effect, tensing muscles instead of relaxing them. Since there's a lack of scholarly articles written about the effects of purple, this author leaves one interesting fact. Women often list purple as their favorite color, while men often list it as their least favorite, and I am in the minority in that respect. Pink, number 3. 1979 study found bizarre effects. Prisoners who were placed in a cell painted bright pink, inmates immediately became less aggressive. Their muscles relaxed. Psychologists have also tried to see if the calming effects worked on kids. Now, next time you're wondering if it helps, you should check it out. And then number 2 on this list is white. Let's see. Researchers have found that white can actually lead to boredom. Spaces that are monochromatically white tend to hold attention span for shorter amounts of time. And number 1, black. Let's see. Black is actually the absence of color. Let's see. Black environments tend to lead to efficient outcomes. And black clothing tends to increase level of attractiveness. Let's see what else. Also, apparently psychologically has effects with advertising. It has also been found that people were more likely to pay more for products when they were advertised in a way that incorporated the color black heavily, such as a black and white commercial or billboard. Again, this is from listverse.com, and as of the publishing date, 2017, right? Yeah, it was written by Paulina Destrak. And there's a footnote here worth mentioning, that at the time, a junior at the University of Pennsylvania studying physics. So perhaps you can get in touch with that author if you have any questions about colors. Listverse.com. I will put a link in the chat. Doing that right now. All right, so next hour we have our interview with the author of The Psychology of Video Games. Celia Hodent will join us. Excuse me. We'll also have our Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming Renews. We'll take a look at the headlines of the day pertaining to video games. I'm still trying to copy this list into the chat. I did it. Bam. So you can read more about that if you so choose. You can read more about that in the chat. 10 bizarre ways color affects your brain. So let's take a break. We'll come back, like I said, 8:20 a.m. Pacific time, the interview of the day, and then we will have Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming Renews. If we have enough people in the chat, we can either play some trivia. We did Google Feud yesterday, so probably some trivia questions coming up in the final hour of this morning. Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. Going to get more coffee. We'll come back with more of the Gaming Morning Show. Thanks! Morning Gamer, Gaming Morning Show continues. It is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. Thanks for being with us wherever you may be. I am Ryan, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. Coming up, Celia Hodent will join us, the author of this. I wanted to give a shout out to But Why Though PC, But Why Though PC on Twitter, But Why THOPC. They had a cool episode with Zachary, who kind of keeps track of everything related to St. Jude's gaming fundraising arm, and it was just amazing. He talked about so much passion, about why he does what he does for St. Jude. I think I got introduced to how much can be accomplished for good through gaming for St. Jude because of Dr. Lupo's stream. He's raised a ton of money for St. Jude and the work that they do. But this particular episode of But Why Though, the podcast, which you can find, wherever podcasts are for you, was really neat because of the passion that was spoken in regards to the topic. So excited to recommend that. That is easily found, But Why Though PC on Twitter, or if you find me Hefty Goof, I did tweet that out yesterday. It was yesterday midday, and so that was pretty cool. It is now 8:09 Pacific time, 11:09 on the East Coast. Coming up this hour, if you're up for it, we'll play some trivia in the chat. We have that option. You can pick the categories. I'll read the questions. This day in gaming history, a couple of the highlights from the first hour. This date in 2001, Take-Two Interactive released Grand Theft Auto for PlayStation 2 in the United States. 1996, Sega released a Netlink modem that cost $200. It was a plug-in adapter to be used with the Sega Saturn, and according to this, this is from kpolson.com. It was developed with an X-band technology from Catapult. It was designed for internet online gameplay for Netlink by the following March. I don't know if it ever came to fruition, but it was apparently $200. And honestly, it just seems like something that I would want. I never did get to this with Sean on the show, but I was so excited about text messaging. But I grew up in a very rural area of Montana, and there was no text messaging capabilities in my area. And so I finally got a phone like the day before I left for college. And the whole time on the way out from Montana to Oregon, every time we stopped, I tried to send a text message to a friend of mine. Like every time we stopped. And it couldn't work. But I bring that up because I would have been the guy who spent, that much money on on the Netlink. What was that thing called? Netlink modem and internet web browser, because I wanted to have that kind of stuff so badly. I remember having my first dial-up connection and being stoked. I think we used America Online, but just to be able to get connected to other people, that was so much fun. Where are we playing? Okay, deathmatch. Going this way. Gonna look for people got shot up in the face. Usually I'd play like hockey or something like this, but I need a shorter game. Although I guess I could have played some hockey and just paused. That would have worked. I keep thinking I have the shrapnel. I probably should go back to having shrapnel because... Oh, he's right there still. Because it doesn't really do much good to have the tracker on. Although at nighttime you'd think it'd help, but I think most people are ghosted. I don't know, does the tracker not work for those who have ghost? That's really bright, those headlights. Scared? where is everybody? Oh gosh, I don't have my proc spines anymore. There's so much fire. What happened here?
Enemy UAV overhead.
Yikes.
Time's up.
I heard those footsteps the whole way, and I was like,
Care package on the
who
way.
is following me?
Enemy interaction.
How he didn't catch up to me with a knife only is shocking.
Personal radar drone.
I need targets. Send recon.
Behind me. That was a fast game.
Collect the dead and report back to base.
All right, Gaming Morning Show continues as we'll have our interview coming up in just about 6 minutes from now-ish. Nothing's perfect, obviously, but excited to have Celia Hodent join us on the show. If you don't know kind of the premise of the show, you can always ask us to put in the About command, which is on the screen right now. This is not a show that we're trying to build an audience from the perspective of, like, a lot of the goals in the streaming world is to become partnered or affiliated with a streaming service, like a Twitch partner, right? And then when you're in the Twitch partnership program, you can earn subscriptions and those kind of things from their platform. We're trying to stay a little more platform agnostic because we want to be able to promote different happenings from everywhere, right? So it doesn't just have to be from one place. I think I've seen that. Like, I watched some Tim the Tap Man on Twitch, and they can't play with Dr. Disrespect because he is banned from Twitch, right? And so we don't want to get in a scenario where, you know, we want to have an interview, but we can't bring it on because Facebook or Twitch or YouTube say, no, you're exclusive to us. That's something that can't happen. So that's kind of the reason we chose the current format that we have. Is the idea is building this community. And then the other thing too is the games are very much secondary in terms of the gameplay. Like, we play games in the same way that your favorite FM morning radio show played music, right? You were there for the music, but you got latched on to the people. And the interviews are super important to us because that's where we bring in voices that are not mine. I get tired of talking to myself. This is the third straight day where I've had to do the last 2 hours by myself, and that's not as much fun for me. So we do a lot of times the gaming hour in the 8 o'clock hour, just because that's where I do play a lot of games. But we do have the interviews, because that's an area where we can bring on different people and interact, right? Like, that's my favorite part about the internet, which goes back to me being potentially the one who would have bought a $200 Netlink adapter from Sega to play games online. And that's one of the questions I'll have for Celia too, is this idea of, you know, how video games have kind of taken an uptick because of the pandemic, and how that's been beneficial psychologically. You know, what are some of the benefits of games? Because I remember when I was a kid, gaming was associated so negatively. You know, you'll never get anywhere if you're just playing games.
Throwing is done.
Those kind of things. So whereas I've found a lot of positive coming from having access to people through the pandemic because of games.
One dead here.
I feel like I'm moving so slowly. That's a teammate.
Let's move.
Does this one not have restock on it? That's not, because it has overkill. Yikes. Big yikes. Yeah, National Color Day is our topic of the day because I'm wearing purple, and purple's my favorite color. love to know your favorite color. And have you changed? My son right now is very much into green, whereas once purple, he was an orange stan, right? That's what the kids say. Was all about the orange. All right, going this way. I got stunned. Oh no!
Copy. Falcon 3 en route. Friendly care package inbound.
Reloading.
Friendly sentry gun online.
Oh no! Alright, well let's step out of this game and we'll get set up for our interview. It is 8:19 on this wonderful Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. Thanks for being with us on Gaming Morning Show. I am Ryan. Appreciate you being with us wherever you may be. It is National Color Day, so we're asking you about this idea of what your favorite color is. Like I said, my favorite color is definitely purple, and so I'm rocking the purple Nike sweatshirt. This has kind of made me happy throughout the course of the pandemic for sure, and pretty excited about our interview today. We're going to be talking about psychology of video games and have a chance to bring you these interviews that we're excited to do on the 7:25 and 8:20 mark as much as possible throughout the 3 hours of our show. And so with that said, let's bring in our guest for today, the author of The Psychology of Video Games. We welcome Celia Hodent to the show today. Celia, I appreciate you taking time to join us and be just our second guest on the show, which we certainly appreciate.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're
I'm not a boring person. I'm happy to be here.
Well, and
my
that's
favorite color is purple as well. So
Is it
yay.
really? Oh, I was going to ask you because, yeah, for me, apparently, it has nothing to do with the perceived meanings of purple. Apparently, it's supposed to have something to do with power and authority. I just have always been attracted to this color, and I don't
Yeah,
know
I
why.
love purple. It's a very nice color. It's not too cold, not too warm. It's just it's just perfect.
Well, we certainly appreciate you taking time to talk to us and the psychology of video games. I read through the sample book that's available, and it was really interesting to see how kind of candid it felt like the book was. It feels like it has a really honest feel, and even just the way that like the table of contents was laid out. If you want to know about this part, this is where you go. This part, this is where you go. Give us the backstory. Why did you decide to write this book?
Oh, so actually, it's Routledge who contacted me because they're doing it's a series that they have, The Psychology of Everything, and they contacted me to ask me if I was interested to do the video games part. So I said yes. What I love about this book. It's really for a broad audience, and I wanted to. Yeah, I wrote a previous book. It's called The Gamer's Brain. It's a very professional book. It's deep diving into a lot of concepts about how to make games better. So it's more for game developers. But this book, it's a very short book. It's 100-page, and it's for a broad audience, and it's to explain how games are made and also what is the potential impact of video games on players. So it's a very different approach, and yeah, I hope it's gonna make people understand games better.
Well, and you have both sides of the coin, right? You can describe it from a developer standpoint and a user standpoint. When it comes to the psychology of video games, why is it important to kind of tell both sides of that story?
Oh, well, I think it's really important for the general public to understand how games are made, because you see so many. For movies, you have so many movies and videos on how movies are made, and people understand this better and understand it's an art form. And for video games, it seems that the public don't know how video games are made, and they don't really see the artistry behind it, and the passion from video game creators, and that's the reason why it's important to bring back into perspective how video games are made and who is it made by and what's the process, because it's a long and very painful process, and it's an artistic process just like making movies, but on top of that it's an interactive art form, and so we need to also pay attention to how people are going to interact with the video game. Because if a movie you don't understand something, the movie keeps going, but not a video game. If you don't understand what you need to do in a game, then the game doesn't move on, or it moves on without you. So it's really important to understand, how complex it is to make games.
We're talking to Celia Hodent about The Psychology of Video Games, a book available now. And I'm curious, when you look at misconceptions related to the psychology of video games, from a personal standpoint, I've really felt this during the pandemic, is I was always taught, video games are a waste of time and all of this stuff. And through the pandemic, being a social extrovert, this has been the best experience because I can stay connected with people. What are some of the biggest misconceptions behind playing games from a psychological standpoint?
Yeah, so it's really interesting because you have like a very two different perspective. You have people who believe that games are a waste of time, that they're going to make you violent, or they're going to turn you into an addict. And you have on the other end of the spectrum people who believe that video games are going to save the world, and it's powerful for education and powerful for health. And so the truth is in the middle, and there's a lot of great claims on both sides, and people are a bit lost. And yeah, the public who, like, people who don't play video games that have more a tendency to believe that video games are not good, or have a lot of negative impact, but it's not the case. So that's the reason why I wanted to do a very concise digest of all the research that's going on right now, so that people can have a better understanding of video games. And first of all, people need to understand that there's a lot of different types of video games. And so when you say, well, are video games good or bad for you? Well, it depends on what game we're talking about. It's just saying, is food bad for you? Well, it depends on what type of food you're eating, the quantity, and depends also on the context. And so that's the thing. Video games are you have a lot of different video games, and they can be very positive from many aspects, and they can allow you to feel competent, to feel autonomous, and you can have games where you have to be tactical and coordinate with others. And this is what's interesting to understand, and to have a more nuanced understanding of what games can do. I'm sorry, I'm turning off and on and off and on.
I don't know where
my camera, because it froze at some points.
Yeah, that's okay. We still can hear you fine, so we can finish on audio only if the picture doesn't come back. My final couple questions have to do with ethics and inclusion, and you talk a lot about the ethical considerations that are present in the world of video games. Walk us through some of those thoughts.
Sure. So like anything, video games have an impact on us. So it's not as crazy as people say, but it does have an impact. And any human is going to be influenced by its environment. So just by seeing, if you see a door with a handle, you're influenced to pick the handle and pull. So it's not an influence that's bad for you necessarily, unless there's a fire and you need to escape, then it can be bad for you. But most of the time it's not bad for you. And in video games and in tech in general and marketing also, there's some influence that is not as good for people, because it's influencing people, for example, to buy something that they don't really necessarily want, or to come back at a certain point when they did not really want to come back at that moment. So it's all around the business model, how we sell video games today, and also how, what are the things that maybe are bringing people back into the game, because maybe, if you're back at that moment, there's going to be an awesome event, and then it's never going to happen again. So it's a bit forcing people, the game can be good and they can want to go back, and that's fine. But if they are coming back to the game just because they want that awesome thing that's never going to happen again, then we're more into what we call a dark pattern. So it's when we're trying to influence people to the benefit of the company, but at their expense. So you have more clear dark patterns, like when you don't realize that you're buying something, or buying an option as you check out, and you didn't see, oh no, shit, there was something checked, I didn't see it. So that's a clear dark pattern. But in video games, you have kind of things that sometimes influence you to come back or to stay longer or to get something because you're never going to see it again if you're not getting it now. And these are not great because it's not respectful of players and of their time. It's some sort of influence that is not down to the game, and it's more about selling the game and staying in the game.
Well, let's close with this. I see on your Twitter, you can follow Celia Hoden
Yeah.
on Twitter, is you have this
Absolutely.
masterclass about inclusion and equity. Talk
Yes.
about how those two themes are important in the gaming world and why you have the masterclass that you have.
Sure. So I care a lot about inclusion, and there's a lot to understand from implicit biases. So I talk a lot about the brain. I have a PhD in psychology, so I explain how the brain works and how we understand things. And we also have great powers from the brain, but also great limitations and biases. So these are important to understand when you make games, when you play games, but also if you want to have a more inclusive society. So I do a lot of workshops like these, and you can go on my webpage. It's celiahoden.com, and you have like public events, and you can see all the stuff that I do over there. But it's important if you want to build a fairer society to understand what are our human flaws, because if we don't take that into account, it's never going to work. Just like if you make a game or if you make an app, if you don't take into account the flaws that your users, like all users, have, because we're all humans, this not gonna work as well. So as a society, we need to have the same process so that we can build a fair society.
All right, name of the book is The Psychology of Video Games. Where is the best place to get that right now?
Anywhere.
Anywhere books are sold, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thanks for taking the time to join us. As you said, early in the morning, we're on 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time. So appreciate you taking the time to join us. And it was really
Thanks for having
interesting. I'm going to read the book in whole, but reading the sample enough was fun. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Let me know what you think.
Absolutely. Celia Hoden joining us on Gaming Morning Show. Thanks so much. That was a fun discussion to hear about all of the things that went into making that book. And just in general, as she mentioned, psychology PhD, right? So this is an aspect that kind of persists throughout all of the elements of her experience. So that was super fun. I really enjoyed talking to her, and she was very kind to join us. The way that we're doing this right now is reaching out to different voices that we see. I'm trying to follow more people on our Twitter Watch GMS, and we're just, basically throwing darts at people that we think have something that would be valuable to say in regards to video games or something spoked off of that. And reached out to her. She said, absolutely, right away, I wanted to come on the show. And then I missed her email for about 5 days, and I immediately was, apologetic and said, I'm so sorry. And she still gave us a second chance to have her on the show, and that was super fun. So I would love to know what you thought of the interview. Any feedback on, was it easy to watch? We're working on camera angles and all of these things that we have to do in a one-person managed show, but I definitely would love your feedback in regards to the interview with Celia this morning. And again, celiahoden.com, as she mentioned, is her webpage if you want to find out more from her. Yeah, that was super fun. And just the second interview we've had a chance to do. You can find our first interview on our YouTube page, Gaming Morning Show. Good morning. How are you? Vatican? Vadakan? You'll have to make sure I say it correctly. But yeah, I appreciate you being here. If you are here because you found out through Celia, we appreciate you being here. But the part that stood out to me about the book, The Psychology of Video Games, which, as you mentioned, anywhere books are sold, we found the sample through Amazon. The cool thing was it's very straightforward, and it's not hard to figure out exactly where you're looking for. In fact, the table of contents had a very specific thing. Like, if you're looking for this, click here. If you're looking for that, click there. Hello! It is 8:32 on this West Coast time, Pacific time, 11:32 on the East Coast. Vadakan, trying to make sure I say hello to you. What's your podcast on? We're not podcasting yet. So we focus on live 3 hours a morning, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time. We do encourage you to listen audio only. If you've never done so on Twitch, you can click the gear icon and click audio only. 9:02 p.m. from India. That's awesome. So it's the gaming evening show where you are. But it is a guest-driven show. So if you've ever listened to morning radio programs, at least my experience being a broadcaster for 20 years in the U.S., is most FM morning radio shows have that same kind of like wake you up, get you energized for the day kind of style. We're probably a little bit more low key than that, but bringing in a whole bunch of people to talk about, like today we're celebrating National Color Day. So what's your favorite color? That's something you can answer for us. Mine is purple. And then we bring a topic of the day, and then we bring in guests like we had with Celia. So it's important to us to try to bring in different voices. Other than that, we just play some games. And I've been doing the Halloween event through Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I think I'm going to play one more round of Zombie Royale, but I think I will fill my squad because it's really hard to go solo. Yeah, black's a great color too. We had a top 10 unusual, I believe this was. Let me find the actual list. We do a list of the day every morning around 7:20. I did it a little bit later today. Let's see. 10 bizarre ways. 10 bizarre ways color affects the brain. So I'm going to post that in the chat. So if you want to check that out, black was number 1 on the list. So that's a link that you can share. So we do a list of the day when we don't have a 7 o'clock hour guest. But yeah, we're just trying to build a community around the idea of having a morning show that promotes people as much as possible. We're trying to kind of spread out as opposed to focus on just what we're trying to get out of the show. It's more fun that way for me. So yeah, this is what I do. I'm a broadcaster. So good question though. Yeah, about us is right there. You can find us gms.watch on your mobile phone, or we're on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. What do you do, especially at 9 o'clock where you are watching our show in the talk shows category? It looks like you are on Twitch. So yeah, I've been a broadcaster for 20 plus years. Hosting is definitely my strong suit when it comes to hosting other people, meaning like directing traffic or doing an interview like that. That was super fun. I read the sample of Celia's book. I read through some of her Twitter timeline, and in 5 minutes, I mean, that's the other thing too, is I found in 5 minutes you can cover a whole bunch of stuff, and there's always more. I mean, that's where the podcast, I mean, honestly, Vatican, that might be, not a bad idea, is to do a podcast. Maybe we could do that at least with our interviews, especially once we start having interviews every single show. That could be kind of fun. So we will post on our YouTube page, though. You can find us by searching Gaming Morning Show on YouTube. And we also have some different clips. We do a morning gaming news segment every first hour of the show. I'm telling you all sorts of things that are interesting. That's the interesting part, is go to our YouTube page and check it out. We can play some trivia, though. I'll do that here, and actually, let's see, what time is it? It's 8:35. So we'll do some trivia here in about 10 minutes, and you can take some shots at some of the answers that we have. We play Google Feud occasionally, too, in the 8 o'clock hour. So when it's not an interview, we'll play autocomplete, where you have to look at a Google autocomplete and figure out the correct answer. So what's my everyday motto? That's interesting. I don't know if I have an everyday motto. Right now, it's just trying to be as kind as possible to as many people as possible. That's important to me. Yeah, I'm a big believer in kindness. A believer in happiness. That's another thing, too, is trying to find as much happiness in your professional life as you do in your personal life. So those are two things that I'd say drive me more than anything. Let's go here.
Jump in there.
Got it. Will do.
Oh, no. I think we're going to green. Yeah, we're going to green. This is pretty cool. Do you play games? Everyday problems. Right now, I am just hoping that people stay as healthy as possible, because is that guy already a zombie?
Get to work. Target spotted. Contact.
Man, those guys had a way better jump than me. Just trying to make sure everyone stays as healthy as possible. The pandemic's been tough. I'm socially extroverted, So what's your favorite? Oh, you play COD. That's awesome. Have you tried the new mode? I like when you become a zombie.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Uh-oh. Huh? That was helpful.
Enemies here.
Copy.
You're right.
Team alive.
Well, you're very kind to say so. That's part of spreading happiness, right?
Your teammate
Gosh,
is
I can't climb these walls like in Apex. Oh my gosh, this is so bad.
Your teammate
There's a
is
zombie.
Do the remains of the dead to regain your humanity.
So you can hear them fall a little bit more than I realized. You know, for fun, I'm a big sports fan. I mean, honestly, video games have been a source of fun for me. So, no complaints there. Yeah, other than gaming, yeah, sports. Sports is the answer. Alright, where's my teammates? There's zombies down there. Maybe I actually get a weapon now. Yeah, and the World Series is... I kind of pay attention to the World Series for baseball. I don't pay attention much to the playoffs prior to the World Series. Baseball's a tough sport to get into if you're not watching it, you know, in person, for me. Hockey's my favorite sport live, for sure. Without a doubt, because the mixture of sight and sound. Okay, where's my teammates? They're over here. It's a ghost. Favorite sport, football, and then hockey after that. Do you... In India, is there Halloween? Is that a holiday?
Taking fire!
There, I helped my friend out. Except I'm worried that they can't revive... He can't revive me as a zombie. Alright, I'm just gonna... Nix. No Halloween, huh? EPL, no. But this might interest you because I know it has more of an international flair than hockey and football. Me and my co-host, Sean, have really been into... we've been into Formula One. So we are going to get up at 6 a.m. Pacific time to watch the Portugal race on Sunday. Oh, bummer. Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, Halloween's an interesting holiday because it's not like a, you know, you can take time off from work type holiday. But it's definitely celebrated. You know, we got, you know, costumes and those kind of things. In fact, we hadn't really planned on our kids' costumes. I have a 9 and a 5-year-old. And we hadn't really planned on kids' costumes quite yet. But we kind of know what we're going to do to celebrate Halloween because we're not going to go trick-or-treating with the pandemic going on. Answer your question, I'm a Broncos season ticket holder of all things, actually. Is he in this manhole? Interesting. Didn't know you could do that. Is he gonna come out? Do you think? Is he gonna come out? Look at the movement on the hands. I think that is my favorite thing about the way they did the zombies. I haven't thought about riding the train as a zombie. How much fun could that be? Yeah, I'm from the U.S. I live in the Pacific Northwest. Ooh. And yeah, yeah, this doesn't hurt you. Oh, can't do that though. Look at that. Oh my gosh, they have like ghoulish things down here. This is so cool. I hadn't explored this yet. Alright, I want to wait for a train. Oh, you can't take the subway. The subway's a ghost subway. Whoa! Oh no, it's not a ghost subway. There are ghost subways though. This is crazy! Did you see that? It just went through. Huh, I didn't know this exists. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Well, the election obviously is coming up, and the election is definitely a point of division in the country. I don't know, you can tell me what elections are like in India. There's definitely been a lot of attention drawn to this particular election, so let's just kind of keep it at that. As far as the pandemic, yeah, I hope everyone's as healthy as they can be in the very near future, because this whole thing has sucked. I didn't get underneath. I got killed. Game over, man. Game over. All right, it's 8:44 on the West Coast, 11:44 on the East. I don't know who's... Oh, wait, I'm not out of the game. I don't know who's going to become the president. And the weird thing, too, is so there's a show called Last Week Tonight on HBO, John Oliver's show. And the one thing that stood out to me is the thought that this might be one of the first elections, at least in my lifetime, other than the close election between Gore and George W. Bush in 2000, which was the first election that people in my class could vote for. I was not old enough for that election. It took so long for the results because that was a clearly an abnormality, right? The recount and everything that happened in Florida, that one got drawn out because of that reason. This one, apparently, according to John Oliver's most recent show, no, I think he did World Health Organization the other day. This was specifically related to his election one. I'm going to play Plunder because you get candy. That we might not know the election results because the fact that election night, we've been so conditioned to watch news and find out who the winner is, we may not know if it's close enough because of all the absentee ballots and stuff that have to be counted since it is the pandemic, right? A lot of those things are coming in. But yeah, the pandemic's been tough. I hope you're holding up too. I don't know, what's the pandemic like in India? Because I know that there's a lot of other places in the world who took different measures than the U.S., and in some places they're better off for it. I don't know if it's worse, but I hope you're being safe for sure. As far as Marvel or DC, which it'll give me a chance to reiterate some news I gave at the top of the show. I'm not huge into comic books, so I've sided with the DC side just because when there's a new movie that's released, back in the days of movie theaters, I could go. It was just a social extroverted event. I'm like, yeah, I want to go to a movie. Oh, you want to see Justice League? Nah, not necessarily, but I want to go. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, no, big thoughts to you. I can't imagine going through a pandemic. I never could imagine going through a pandemic, and so this whole thing has been super tough. But I'm super grateful that people closest to me, family, and then friends. I don't know anyone who's been adversely affected yet. So, oh yeah, so let me share that news. So if you didn't know about this, Justice League is going to have the Snyder Cut on HBO Max, which you'll have to tell me if that's something that you have access to in India. But HBO Max is coming up with the Snyder Cut, which was the original, supposed original cut of the film for Justice League. And allegedly, there was not going to be any new filming that would contribute to the Snyder Cut. But according to Humberto Gonzalez of The Wrap, that's changed because Jared Leto is reprising his role as the Joker for the Snyder Cut. And if that's the case, he wasn't in the original, so they would have had to have shot some new footage. So if you are excited for the Justice League, that's coming out, then that's an option. Oh, and see, I've never been on piracy pages, and I've never been to India. I've never been outside of the Western Hemisphere, because I've been down to South America and I've been, in North America, but I've never been to the eastern half of the world. So I'm excited to get to do so, and my biggest concern, I've shared this with family and friends, is I'm worried that we'll never get to, because I don't know when this pandemic's gonna ease up. So but yeah, thanks for hanging out this morning. I appreciate it. So Sean is my co-host, so if you come back to the show, we're here 6 to 9 every Monday through Friday. So since it sounds like you're late night where you are, you can use us as your evening show. In the US we have the Tonight Show, and we have
Bit of body armor here.
Jimmy Kimmel Live and all these other shows. So we can be that for you instead of being a morning show where you are. You can use this as the evening show. So one of these is going to be a
UAV entering the AO.
one of these is going to be a jump scare. So it's an interesting thought. There's so many aspects about just the way that communities work together that I think
Back in the war.
affects what you're talking about with, perception of what it's like to live somewhere else. And I think that one thing that's helpful is when you've actually lived somewhere else and you have the chance to see, what else is out there.
Be advised, UAV is single fuel. RTB for resupply.
All right, where's my teammate? He's over there. I'm not gonna be able to get there. Sorry, a little focus on the game. So the final hour of the show many times will be this, right? Gaming hour, right? Oh, that's a sniper. That was an unfortunate timing. I got sandwiched. What do you think about World's View on US? I think I think that perceptions are the whole point of being people, right? And so one thing that I hope most people are attuned to now is listening is an incredibly valuable skill, and getting a chance to understand from other perspectives is very important. So that's my answer to your question. Is I don't think my opinion on what the worldview of the US is. I think what is important though is if someone comes to you with an opinion regarding the world's view, listen to it. One reason we're doing this show is there's a great sports show, in my opinion, in the U.S. called The Dan Patrick Show. And it's my favorite radio program of all time. And it's because when he split off from ESPN, he went out on his own to do a show. And that's not easy to do when you're used to having support from a big company like ESPN. And his whole point
Thank you if you need to drop one
in
off.
Hostile dropping into the area.
his whole point in doing that show was he wanted to bring in different voices. So he didn't want it just to be your very, very typical sports talk show where the host knows everything and you're there just to get the host's opinion. And when he did that, it was really cool because he brought in these characters called the Danettes, which, you know, were his co-host, his producer, and his booker. And that was neat because it's different voices. And he talks about this idea of half-truth. So absorbing new information, whether it's a report that you read or an opinion someone gives you, and just look at it from like a perspective of, well, what if even, you know, if you don't believe everything that person's saying, which, you know, is definitely a common theme nowadays, where it's like what you're saying is wrong. What if 50% of it's true? Just start there, right? And maybe the reality is a quarter of it is true, and maybe the reality is none of it's true. But if you're even willing to open yourself up to the idea that maybe some of it's true, it's going to be more valuable in the long run for likely society. Let me give you some trivia choices too. I appreciate my efforts. Listen, this is kind of a fun place to escape from the craziness of the world, but at the same time, you know, the reason that we're having so many different people on the show. What the heck is that? A phlebotomist? Weird. Okay, I'm gonna go get this car and try to use this thing. Is because I want to share those perspectives for sure. I've learned so much getting the chance to talk to other people about different topics and serious topics too, that I think that that's a valuable exercise. So. Try to go to this helicopter.
There we are.
Enemy crossing into the AR. Solid copy. Bird is inbound for cash collection.
Let's see what this does.
Enemy dropping into the AR. Helo is in position for your
I don't know what I did. Did I do something? I can't tell if I got him or not. I don't think I did. Oh, I wish I could get picked up. I'm gonna give you a option to give some. Oh, my squad was wiped. All right, it's all right. It's almost the top of the hour anyway, so I'm just gonna go back to here. Let's give you some trivia questions. Let's give you general arts or history. So do you want to play trivia with us? You can do so, general arts or history. Oh, Maiko, I didn't know you were here. It's good to see you. I love you, sir. Thanks, man. I wish I would have given you this option for the trivia questions beforehand. All right, we'll give one trivia question to close out. General arts or history. Vatican, if you can follow the channel, we're eventually going to get to the point where we're doing giveaways with the trivia, so you get qualified for a prize at the end of the month, and so that might be something that's fun for you down the road. We're not doing subscribers or any of that kind of stuff. So, all right, general trivia. All right, what is the ancient Greek word for great city? What is the ancient Greek word for great city? Excited about the new Weeknd song? I did not know the Weeknd has a new song. Is there any special privileges for blacks in the U.S.? Listen, this is a very present topic right now. From my perspective, the biggest thing that I'm learning about is the distinction between being not racist and being anti-racist, and trying to do different work in order to be better in that respect. And so through my lens, that's probably the best way that I can answer that question. But I think we have a lot of work to do as a society in caring about everybody. But that's, again, why bringing different voices on the show is important. I'm doing a lot more watching of streams that are specific to getting different perspectives of those who are not white males like myself. One I really like is IntelliGame on the weekends. I think Saturday and Wednesday is when Josh streams. But he's also from the Pacific Northwest, or at least lives in the Pacific Northwest, and so that's been helpful for me. All right, you're going to guess Athens. It's a good guess. I think it was looking for the actual word. So Megaloopolis. I'm guessing that's maybe where like metropolis comes from. All right, I'll give you two more. Arts. What literary work inspired Nirvana's Scentless Apprentice song? I've never been so much more proud of the way that I can type. Because this is helpful when it comes to these questions. And I got a history question. I had never heard this before. Was the nickname given to the Porsche 550 Spider that killed what acting icon in a crash? Ooh, good guess. Yes, you got that one right. I mean, perfume is the answer. Nice work. All right, I'll give you that last one. History. So we're looking for the actor. It was an acting icon. I will tell you that it's more of a classic acting icon, and this is in the United States. So I'm going to build some countdowns too, by the way. I'm going to put a countdown on our coffee break page, and then I'm also going to do one I really remember his exact name. That's awesome. I'm actually typing in something here really quick. Yes, it is. You're absolutely right. Right, you have 10 more seconds. Thanks for keeping me company, by the way, at the tail end of the show. I didn't know Mike-O was here. Mike, you should have said something earlier. I say that because the last hour, this is supposed to be a day that we usually have Sean for the full 3 hours, and so it's more fun when we do. So, yes, nice work. 2 of 3 rounds out the show. All right, Vatican. I hope you have a great rest of your evening in India. Big thanks to it. Hey, look, it's Mike-O. Be sure to check him out on Twitch as well. He's streaming. And I'll send you somewhere on Twitch if I have enough people to do so. Otherwise, be sure to check back with us. We're here 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. So we'll be back tomorrow. It is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020, at least stateside anyway. So thanks for being with us. Gaming Morning Show. I will post the video of the interview with Celia on our YouTube page. Goodbye, everybody.